Now that you know the basics of debate, let's go jump back into public forum. There's three basic things you want to know about public forum debate. One is should be catered toward a citizen judge, meaning that it should be geared for the public to understand. Hence the name public forum. It should be understandable to anybody who is walking on the street, anybody, your parents, any inexperienced people who've never seen a debate round before should be able to understand. And to understand this purpose, we have to talk a little bit about history of debate. So to make it more fun, let's switch colors. All right. So, history. Public forum was invented right around 2002, so not so long ago. It's a very recent type of debate, a very popular type of debate, a growing type of debate. It was invented by the National Speech and Debate Association. The rules were invented, formerly known as the National Forensic League. The NSDA is the governing body of basically the world of debate in the United States, and of high school debate more specifically. And even though it's a recent type of debate, debate itself has been around for a long time, dating back to even early 1900s. So during that time, there was only one type of debate called policy debate, or cross-ex debate, or cross examination debate. It's all one type of debate. However, in the 1960s, around that time, 1970s, this type of debate policy got more technical. Before, it was just two teams trying to be very eloquent, just like a politician would, and try to persuade an audience. However, since it got more competitive, more people competing, there was a more emphasis on evidence than communication. That's what I mean by technical. So there's a lot of speed, lots of evidence, spewing out, speed reading, spreading, which is what it's called. So it basically got to the point where a normal person walking down the street in their first debate round wouldn't be able to understand what debaters are even talking about, because there's so much jargon and speed and technicalities. So another type of debate was invented, which is called LD. But history repeated itself around the 1990s. Debaters got more technical again in the LD, or Lincoln Douglas debate. So even though policy and LD debate are still around, public forum is probably the only one that is still trying to be public friendly, as I would like to call it. That's why you will find a diverse set of judges in public forum debate, such as coaches who are very experienced, former students with experience. However, there are also very inexperienced people, such as parents, also community members who are recruited or hired, such as college students and teachers and other people. So given any debate tournament, you will expect to see any type of judge, all three of these types of judges and even more. So you have to keep that in mind, and while competing in public forum, you should be able to adapt to each kind of judge's experience and background. Second thing you want to know is the topics, are the topics that are presented in public forum. Topics come out once a month, except for the September and October topic. There's one topic for those 2 months. However, all the other months get one topic. For example, in November, the December topic will come out, and debater will prep for that month. And in December, they will attend tournaments using the December topic. And topics are awarded in a special way, similar to other debate LD and policy, it starts with resolved. Resolved kind of means, I would say, be it enacted. That. So it basically is a statement of a policy. And if you affirm this resolution or a statement, you're saying that it's true, and if you negate it, you're saying that it should not happen, or it's not true, or it's bad. So topics can be very diverse, and to see them, let's go to the Speech and Debate, National Speech and Debate Association's website, where they release these topics. So now we got to the speechanddebate.org, where you can find past public forum topics, and you could see that all these months, topics range so diversely. One year there was a topic about, last year there was a topic about economic globalization, global poverty, so global topics. There's domestic topics like for-profit prisons in the United States should be banned. There's scientific topics, genetically modified foods. There's sports topics if you like sports, public subsidies for professional athletic organizations. So there's tons of diversity. So if you don't really like a topic for a month, just wait for a month. That's like a good part. That's like a fun and unique part of public forum, because it changes so frequently. Because of that, you could just wait if you don't like a topic, or if you get bored easily, then you could debate every month, so you're not stuck on the same topic. That's why public forum topics are supposed to be current and controversial and diverse. It should be ripped off from the headlines. That's the basic purpose of public forum debate on a current topic to a public audience. Third thing is the structure. It's a team debate, so it's good to find a partner who will work with you really well throughout the whole year. So a team of 2 people versus 2 people. And debate rounds are relatively short. It lasts under 45 minutes. Lastly, I want to mention that a unique part of public forum is the Crossfire. You'll probably learn this later, but the Crossfire is basically 2 people, 2 debaters, 2 teams, standing next to each other and freely asking each other questions and answering them. And it's a unique part of public forum. And that was just a basic overview of public forum. Just remember those 3 things, and let's move on. Now, we're going to talk about the structure and the order and the times of speeches. There's 4 types of speeches. 4 types of speeches. First is going to be the constructive, in which you read a case, which is a basic advocacy. If you're on the F, you read an F case. If you're on the neg, you read a neg case. You basically talk about the main arguments you want to present. Let's do a different color here. Second type of speech you'll find in the public forum round is the rebuttal. In a rebuttal, you refute or respond to arguments that your opponents made. Next up, we have something called the summary. Summary is basically you sum up the debate. You narrow the points down to the main points you want to cover, the main points you want to win. Lastly, we have the final focus. Final focus is basically the last shot, the last final argument. Just like a lawyer in a courtroom pleading in front of the judge for his last set of arguments, setting down his case. Let's talk about these speeches and how it really works in the debate round. But before we go into that, we have to talk about the coin flip. So, coin flips happen in sports games as well. For example, in football games, if you win the coin flip, you could decide whether you want to flip, you want to uh, kick or receive, or if you want whatever side you want on the field. For also in tennis matches, you spin the racket, and if you win, you could decide whether you want to serve first or receive first, or whether you want the which side you want on the court. So basically, same thing with coin flips. There's going to be an affirmative side, and there's going to be a negative side in the debate. So there's going to be sides, just like sides on the field. Also, there is also going to be what's called order. So there's going to be a team that goes first, team that goes second. Basically, if you win a coin flip, you decide on side or order. So, and then if you lose, you basically decide what's left over. So, for example, if you win the coin toss, you call out heads, and then it's heads. And you could decide, oh, I want to go second. You have decided the order. So the other team is automatically first. And then the other team has to decide from the side. And the other team decides, oh, I'm going to go on F. On F. Now, the other team is automatically neg. So that's the coin flip. Very simple. Remember the sports analogy. One other thing is that coin flips, you might not do a coin flip in every tournament. Some tournaments assign you what side or order. And some tournaments you might have to just flip for the order because the side is assigned to each team. So just keep that in mind, but coin flips are usually the dominant way to decide who's going first, who's going on which side. Now we're going to skip over to a PowerPoint to make things easier to talk about speech orders. So there's the constructive, rebuttal, summary, final focus, crossfire, and it's given in that order. So constructive, rebuttal, summary, final focus. And since there are two speakers and two teams, one person can't do everything. So you have to divide it up. And all the teams speak the same amount of time. All the speakers speak the same amount of time. So it's fair for everybody. So it's the speaker one, first speaker, gets to do the constructive, which goes first. And then we alternate sides, and the second team goes up. And that's the first speaker as well. And then we have the crossfire, in which those two first speakers go up and question each other. Next, we have the rebuttal. In the rebuttal, the first speaker sits down. The second speaker goes from each team. And then we have the crossfire, which is the same thing. And now we have the summary. Since the second speaker went from each team, now we have to do the first speaker again. First speaker gives a summary. Now we have the grand crossfire, in which all four of the speakers can question each other. And final focus is in which the second speaker goes from each side. So the team alternates and the speakers alternate as well, for fairness. Now talk about time limits, which are also fair. So since the first speaker gives just a constructive and just a summary, he speaks a 4-minute constructive and a 2-minute summary, speaking for 6 minutes. Same thing with the second speaker. Second speaker gives the rebuttal and the final focus. Rebuttal is 4 minutes, final focus 2 minutes. And all the crossfires are 3 minutes, even the Grand Crossfire. So everybody gets to speak for about 6 minutes, and everybody basically gets 6 minutes to participate in Crossfire. And also, there's something called prep time. Prep time is given 2 minutes per team, and it's given that teams could prepare during the round, for example, preparing what to say in the rebuttal or summary or final focus, or strategize about their arguments or with your partner. Prep time can be called whenever in the debate, um, before rebuttal, before um, but usually people don't call for prep time before Crossfire because they don't need prep, nor do you need really prep time before the constructive. But it's usually accepted that you can call for uh, prep time whenever and take however many seconds off. So if you, and it all adds up. So if you take 10 seconds off right before your rebuttal, then you have a minute and 50 seconds left, and you could use a minute and 50 seconds right before the final focus. So it kind of adds up. And don't try to write every single thing down. Don't try to blindly memorize all these minutes. Reason it out. Just remember that the first speaker gets constructive and summary. Second speaker gets rebuttal, final focus. And everyone gets the same amount of time. So constructives are 4 minutes, rebuttals are 4 minutes, and the 2 minute speeches are summary and final focus. And all the crossfires are 3 minutes, and all the teams alternate. So if team 1 goes, team 2 goes, and then team 1 goes, and then team 2 goes. So try to reason it out. Once you have that in your mind, for also remember that these are only 3 numbers you have to memorize: 2, 3, and 4. So 4-minute constructive rebuttals, and 2-minute summaries, and 3-minute crossfires. So basically, you just have to remember 2, 3, and 4. Once you get all this down, try to wipe off everything that you've written down, the notes you've taken, and ask yourself, which speeches do the first speakers give? I don't know. Or which speeches do the second speakers give? Rebuttal and final focus, yeah. And ask yourself these questions. How many minutes is the constructive, or how many minutes is the final focus? How many minutes is the summary or grand crossfire? Or how many minutes is the prep time? So ask yourself these questions. And later we're probably going to talk about what you do in each speech. But before that, easiest thing to do is try to master the speech times and the orders. And simple as that.